Good morning. Welcome to all, 1,000 welcomes. And we are meditating today on the subject, build strength. And so we've been doing this from the outset, connecting with strength of soul, energizing victory of soul within ourselves. And victory of soul, so if you're just joining now, or if a recap is welcome, victory of soul is always available, and victory of soul knows no opposition. Because victory of soul is connected with the one, with the source of all that is. Victory of soul is always founded in the harmony, the unity that underlies all seeming contradictions, and that is always present, even in the midst of pairs of opposites, which arise and which we experience in time and space. So when we're connected with strength of soul, when we are contacting that energy of victory of soul within ourselves, naturally, spontaneously, we will navigate change with wisdom, with grace, with flexibility, with steadiness, with kindness, with good humor. And so this is part 2 of our subject, how to navigate change. So when we're in contact with strength of soul, with the victory of soul within ourselves, then when waves of change in time and space arise, we surf them. And so we're able to be in contact with this energy of joy within ourselves. And no matter what it is that we are encountering, we're able to come from this energy of vitality and aliveness and exploration and expansiveness and awareness and possibility. So that's the gift that we're giving ourselves in this meditation. And what I'm going to do is share a couple of sacred teachings from different scriptures and a couple of different entry points into ways to encounter and energize victory of soul and this strength within ourselves. And from that, we're able to steadily build in our physical body strength, if that is where we would welcome more strength. We're able to build emotionally more strength, if that is where we would welcome more strength. We're able to build more fortitude and calm in terms of our mental patterns, in terms of our energy patterns, if that's where we would welcome more steadiness and more strength. And so the first scripture comes from James chapter 1. And the opening line, if you just want to remember one thing from today, this would work. Count it all joy. That's it right there. Count it all joy. No matter what it is that you are encountering, count it all joy. No matter what. And when you have that, then you're able to always be in contact with steadfastness. I'll read you the whole verse in just a second. And you will be perfect and complete, lacking in nothing. So if you're able to encounter directly within yourself this energy of joy, steadfastness is like a byproduct of that. And your perfection, which is already here, is able to unfold itself. It's able to share itself with you and with your cranky so-and-so, sibling, parent, friend, partner, whoever it is that you're encountering, your colleague, your supervisor, whoever it is that you're encountering who would welcome this sort of energy of joy and steadfastness and this energy of completion and perfection within yourself that lacks nothing, you're able to also spontaneously, wisely share it, silently, just naturally in the midst of daily life. And so the entire verse is, count it all joy when you meet trials of various kinds, for you know that the testing of your faith produces steadfastness. And let steadfastness have its full effect, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking in nothing. And so if we want to just sort of touch the spiritual high notes here, each of us is invited, if we love to do this, to close our eyes and to silently give ourselves permission. Silently, I give myself permission to count it all joy. Whatever I have experienced in my life, I give myself permission to connect with the joy of my being, in, through, and as all experiences. The pleasant ones and the deeply challenging ones. And this teaching says, as we connect with joy, we also connect with steadfastness. So for each of us, I give myself permission to unfold the energy of steadfastness within myself. When I am in contact with joy and steadfastness, my own energy of completeness shares with me, and it also shares perfectly through me. So I'm going to share a story. And the first time I'm sharing this story, I'm going to share it as a story. And then the second time, I'm going to share it as an invitation or a meditation for all of us. So it's a true story. And I'm inviting each of us to imagine ourselves into the story. So visualize that you're in the story, you're experiencing this. So visualize that you're on a work trip and you're traveling to another city. Maybe it's even another city in another country. And you're happy and grateful to be there. And you're traveling through the city in a van filled with work colleagues. And you're stopped in traffic. And a woman, a street vendor, comes up to the window of your van while you're stopped in traffic. And the woman holds out this platter of carved wooden fruit. So it's like this whole platter of carved wooden fruit. And asks, would you like to buy some carved wooden fruit? And you really don't have any desire to buy carved wooden fruit, but you can see the kindness in her face. And so something about the kindness in her face inspires you to say, well, how much is that banana? And she tells you, and you negotiate politely, and she offers a lower price, and you say, okay, I'll accept that banana. And you hand over the agreed upon price. And then she hands the entire platter of carved wooden fruit through the window of the van. And you find yourself holding this entire platter of carved wooden fruit. And so that's the true story. And I'm inviting us all now to close our eyes and to connect with this in terms of the energy of joy and steadfastness and completeness. And so visualize that you are in the van. You're in the van, and you're in this place where a platter of carved wooden fruit is being handed and held up to the window right by where you're sitting. And you're looking out at this platter of carved wooden fruit. And now visualize that this is whatever you have been working toward. Whatever you love, whatever you would love to welcome into your life, whatever you have been striving for, the whole platter is right there outside the window where you're seated. And so just notice as you look at this whole platter of everything the universe could possibly give you that you have been working toward, just ask, how much am I opening my energy to receive? Am I asking only for a single carved wooden piece of fruit? Am I allowing myself to receive the gifts of the whole platter? The universe wants to give us all the entire platter of spiritual treasure, the entire platter of spiritual strength, the entire platter of joy, the entire platter of steadfastness, the entire platter of completeness. And so just notice, and no criticism, no self-judgment, but just notice, am I opening my energy enough to allow myself to receive in a more beautiful way than I have even imagined to be possible? Have I been fighting? Have I been struggling? Have I been thinking it has to be hard? Am I only allowing myself to receive a tiny portion of these magnificent spiritual gifts, the gifts of joy and steadfastness and completeness that is right there outside my window, and that it's natural for me to receive? It's a natural fit. It can be easy and comfortable and incredibly beautiful to allow myself to receive. And so if you have been noticing, as you did that little self-inquiry, that there's the slightest part of you that is not allowing yourself to receive the whole platter, give yourself permission right now, silently. I open my heart. I love myself and accept myself as I am right now. And I give myself permission to unfold joy and steadfastness and completeness naturally and spontaneously from within myself. And I let myself notice that I am able to expand my energy. I am able to make room in my energy. I'm able to expand my energy and allow my energy to become more beautiful, more filled with love, more filled with acceptance, more filled with freedom, more filled with forgiveness, more filled with allowing. And then go back to that scenario, you're sitting in the van, notice what it is possible to receive now. And notice that you're able to comfortably hold it and allow yourself to receive it on the energy level right now. So let yourself receive it on the energy level. And just notice what the body feels like as you receive on the energy level whatever you have been striving for, whatever you have been working toward. And notice as well, how does the heart feel? How does your calm, clear awareness feel as you integrate with yourself in the present moment, receiving on the level of energy what you love, what you enjoy, what is beautiful and pure, what strengthens your soul, what helps you have that energy of joy and steadfastness and completeness, so that naturally you're able to bring your highest, best self everywhere that you are, and to the world, knowing that as you do this, you also silently energize the possibility that everyone you encounter will also connect with the highest and best in themselves, will also connect with joy and steadfastness and completeness, and be able to share generously with good humor and gladness what they would love to share. And notice that that strengthens all. It strengthens us individually and collectively as we meditate. And you can feel the waves of strength that pour forth, that roll out into the world energetically. So if you like, you can keep your eyes closed. The next scripture comes from John, and it's chapter 20, and it's a really interesting observation to notice that the resurrected Jesus still bears scars. So one of the ways that the students of Jesus recognize the resurrected Jesus is that he shows them his scars. And so I'm inviting us all to consider viewing our scars, and then by extension, later, ongoingly, viewing the scars of others with new eyes and with new awareness. When the resurrected Jesus shows his scars to his students, there is no sign of pain. There is just glory. There is just this is something I passed through, and this is a trace that shows what I passed through. And so the resurrected Jesus' scars are joy, steadfastness, and completeness, visible. And each of us is invited, as we choose, if we like, to view our scars in a different way. And so, if we like, it's an invitation to let go of the pain and to focus on the joy, the steadfastness, the completeness, the glory, the courage, and the strength that can be born from every human experience, connecting with joy, steadfastness, completeness, courage, and strength. And notice that it becomes possible to let the pain melt away, and it becomes possible to move forward from the present moment, from focus and relaxation in the present moment. It becomes possible to move forward in courage and strength, not carrying the pain, not being ashamed of our scars, but the pain has gone. And what remains is courage and strength. So if you like, keep your eyes closed. I'm going to share a true story and then invite us, as we like, to energize the recognition of truth that the story makes visible. So this is a story about a woman who grew up experiencing the most incredible abuse. And so the abuse that she experienced came through her family. And she ran away at age 13 and then became involved with a man whom she calls her first love. Because she hadn't healed those patterns of abuse, she duplicated them. So the same patterns of abuse arose in the relationship that she had for 12 years with her first love. And then at about age 25, she had an awakening. She had a realization. I need to heal myself from within myself. I need to build courage and self-respect. I need to build strength within myself. And she did this. So she did this for 5 years. She was a single mom to 2 kids for 5 years. And she learned. That was how long it took for her. Don't predict how long it'll take. If you're making a similar decision, it doesn't need to take that long. But she made a decision. I'm going to be a partner to spiritual strength within myself. And from that partnership with spiritual strength within myself, whatever is next will come. And so first she found that she was able to love herself and her kids in a new way, in healthy ways, in ways that broke the pain patterns that had descended to her from her family, in ways that made fresh, new starts possible for her kids and for herself. And after 5 years, she ended up finding an amazing partner. They got married, they had another kid, and she was not done with her process of moving forward in strength. But now, when she looks back, she says, where the scars once were, now there is only strength and courage. And so this is the invitation for all of us. And this is just sort of in action telling you the story of Jesus' scars makes visible what is possible for all humans. There's no human who's going to make it through time and space without scars. Don't seek them out. Don't give them to anyone. But if you have them, no, that's just part of traveling through time and space. And so then for each of us, the Bhagavad Gita says, let go of faint-heartedness and arise. So come into contact with your strong-heartedness, and that will be your arising, that will be your forward movement. And so now for each of us, if we like, this is the invitation for us to close our eyes and silently give permission to ourselves. And I would say choose one and meditate with it right now. So a source of pain, something that you would love to heal and let go. And so this can be, in her case, she had things to heal in relation to her dad. She had things to heal in relation to her first love. And always it comes back to self-healing, really. And so choose something that has been a pain point and just be willing to hold it in joy. Hold it in joy. Hold it in steadfastness. Joy and steadfastness are always present within us. Hold it in completeness within ourselves. In the fullness of this beautiful moment right now, joy and steadfastness and completeness allow us to hold in divine light that scar and to look at it in an entirely new way. To allow feelings of rejection or abandonment or neglect or shame or blame or pain or guilt to melt into the light. Just let the light touch whatever you would love to heal, and let the light do the work. So let the light melt the pain and reveal the glory. And remember, I open my heart. I love myself and accept myself as I am. I forgive myself as I am. And I also give myself permission to expand my energy, to welcome the most beautiful energy, beautiful beyond measure, beautiful beyond imagination. I give myself permission to connect with more boundless strength deep within myself, with more limitless courage deep within myself than I can even imagine. Allow yourself to open to the light in an expanded way, in a freeing way, in a joyful way. Letting it be easier and more comfortable than you can even imagine. And letting yourself receive on the level of energy, the energy of wholeness, of healing, of relief, of laughter, of glad-heartedness, of courage, of rejoicing. I'm going to share with you the ending of the story. I invite you to keep your eyes closed. So she did this on her own, not waiting for anything external to change. Don't do this looking for any outcome. But what happened in her case was that years later, her first love came to her and said, "Please forgive me. I have no idea what I was thinking. I have no idea why I treated you that way. Please forgive me." And she said, "I forgave you long ago." So she had already let go of the chains that otherwise she would have been carrying. And with her dad, years later, her dad made peace with his whole family. She was able to be with her dad when he left the body. And it was a joyful, loving family circle that surrounded this man. He died singing. So let there be no limits that we place upon our own ability to heal. And let there be no limits that we place upon what is possible for others. Also, don't look for or expect or require any particular outcome. Free ourselves instantly in this beautiful moment now. And then from that joy, from that steadfastness, from that completeness, we are a match for our heart's desire. And our heart's desire comes to us naturally and effortlessly. The universe really loves to be able to hand the whole platter through the window, right where we are. And so each of us, as many times as it takes, we're invited to open our hearts, to love and accept and forgive ourselves, to love and accept and forgive all, to expand our energy, to allow ourselves to receive more beauty, and to allow it to be more joyful, more expansive, more magnificent than we have ever imagined to be possible. As we give ourselves this gift, we strengthen ourselves individually, collectively, and then also that joy and that strength goes forth in consciousness and becomes more present and available in the world. Thank you. Thank God, and God bless us all.